What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Just trying to prop this up. All right, perfect. Let's do this. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to my live stream. Today I'll be talking about some NFL free agency. And there's a lot to talk about today. First of all, one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about is the Eagles not doing anything, letting Reed Blankenship walk to go to the Houston Texans, letting Nakobe Dean go to the Las Vegas Raiders when we could have easily re-signed him. This just means that we're due for bigger things. By the way, thank you, Nakobe Dean and Reed Blankenship, to your contributions to the Philadelphia Eagles over the past couple years. Drop any NFL free agency talks and questions that you have in the chat. I'm just trying to pull up X right now to continue with any ongoing trades and signings. Let me sign in here. I just did my homework for today, man. All right, let's pull up. Oh yeah, and the Chiefs signed K9. I'm very interested because the Chiefs had the 9th overall pick in this year's 2026 NFL draft, and a lot of NFL mock draft boards had Jeremiah Love going to the Kansas City Chiefs. And looks like that's not going to happen. Could the Seattle Seahawks maybe get a guy like Jeremiah Love? But I highly doubt that they're going to waste it on that, considering that they have some defensive things that they need to rebolster. Let's see what else. Let's go to Adam Schefter. But I appreciate y'all for joining the chat. What's going on? I appreciate y'all for taking time to join the chat. Make sure to drop any questions or hot takes or anything that you guys want to talk about when it comes to the NFL. NFL free agency. What's going on, Chris? Just drop any hot takes or questions that you guys have about the NFL. And I'll make sure to answer them to the best of my ability. We have the Saints reaching on an agreement with Travis Etienne, by the way. Getting a much younger NFL running back. Travis split times between him and Tank Bigsby, and he had a down season a couple seasons ago, and then he rebolstered his stats after last season, helping lead the Jacksonville Jaguars to a playoff berth, the first one in 4 years, I think, the last time they were in the playoffs before this previous season. And that leaves the question, will Alvin Kamara be leaving the New Orleans Saints? Trey Hendrickson to the Giants on a 3-year, $90 million deal. I don't know if that's true or not. Let me pull this up. Giants are looking scary. Yeah, the Giants are scary. I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. And I see all the moves that the Cowboys are making. I see the moves that Commanders are making with re-signing. I believe it was Odafe Oweh. He went to the Washington Commanders. It was somebody from the Chargers who went to the Commanders. Bleacher Report. LeBron is better than Jordan. Personally, I'm a Jordan guy, but I feel like there's respective GOATs in each era, to my personal opinion. Let's go to Adam Schefter. Saints reach on an agreement. I don't see anything about Cole Strange went to the Dolphins. I like that move. But by the way, guys, make sure to go follow me on Instagram if you have not already. JD Sports Zone. We have Taylor Motter from a former MLB infielder joining the show on Saturday. And I just recently did a collaboration post with Adam Jones, the former Baltimore Orioles outfielder. So make sure to go check that out on Instagram. Adam Schefter. Hold on. Let me. I just had to refresh it. Most likely then. Trey Hendrickson. I still don't see anything about Trey Hendrickson to the Giants, unless I'm missing it. But yeah, what do you guys think has been the biggest move so far this NFL offseason? Again, I really want the Eagles. Again, they shipped off Nakobe Dean, shipped off Reed Blankenship. Not shipped off, but didn't retain either of those guys. So, like, what are we doing? We have no safeties. I'm looking at the depth chart right now. Eagles depth chart. Let's pull this up. I still don't see anything on the Trey Hendrickson. But this also leads questions to, like, how the 2026 NFL mock draft is shaping up. So, yeah, right now we have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Darius Cooper. Let me pull up the safeties. We have Andrew Makuba, who had a really strong rookie year coming out of Texas. What's going on, Eubanks? Had a really strong year coming out of Texas. We obviously got rid of Nakobe Dean. We still have Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, Jalix Hunt. I'm looking at the secondary right now. We have Quinyon Mitchell, Marcus Epps. I'm not a very big Marcus Epps guy. I think he leaves open way too many yards. We have Adoree Jackson, who I absolutely hate. Can we move Cooper DeJean to the DB spot? A full time. Kobe or Jordan? Jordan. As much as I love Kobe Bryant, I think he's top 5. But yeah, Adoree Jackson sucks, man. We need to draft We need to draft a DB or a safety in the NFL draft. But yeah, and then let's shift over to the Max Crosby talk, because Max Crosby signed with the Baltimore Ravens, or got traded to the Baltimore Ravens, and the Raiders got 2 first-round back-to-back picks, which it leaves a big hole in the Raiders' defense, obviously, but they did sign a strong edge rusher, Nakobe Dean, to a 3-year deal. But that bolsters the Ravens' defense, because they were third fewest in the NFL in sacks, and Max Crosby has totaled 69.5 sacks over the past 7 seasons. So that averages out to about 10 sacks a season. Around 9.5 sacks a season. So it's a great look for the Ravens defense. But again, drop any NFL hot takes. You can drop MLB ones too. I know the World Baseball Classic is going on, NBA. Other than Fernando Mendoza, who's the better player in the mock drafts? Are you talking strictly quarterback, or just the best player overall in the NFL draft? Eubanks. Because if you're talking second best quarterback, I mean, you have Ty Simpson is the only other quarterback that's in the conversation in the 1 to 2 rounds. But we also look at what happened last season. Best overall player. I like Ruben Bain. I think he's a very strong defensive, edge type guy, but he's also a linebacker, so he's versatile at the 1 to 2 points. I think the Arizona Cardinals need to draft him, sign a guy like that, to a very strong rookie deal. I like Ruben Bain out of Miami. Yeah. Arvell Reese, too. I like Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. He has a lot of strong upside. I saw a lot of people comparing him to like a Julius Peppers type player. So, I mean, and we know how good Julius Peppers is. When he looks off ball, Arvell Reese is probably the strongest linebacker edge candidate when it comes to off ball defense. And especially in a run heavy league now with the quarterbacks, Arvell Reese is very explosive when it comes to pass rushing skills and anchoring that Jets defense. If the Jets end up drafting Arvell Reese. So yeah, I like Arvell Reese. Another guy you can potentially look at that boosted his draft stock during the combine is his teammate Sonny Styles, the linebacker over there. I mean, his coverage skills are amazing. Blitzing ability is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah. Um, so Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles um, is a strong candidate for best defensive player. I don't know. This is a very strong edge. This is a very strong edge and linebacker class. So there we go. There we go. Like I'm looking at this Eagles draft stock potentially. I mean, you have Francis Mauigoa from Miami. You have it's not gonna be high enough for Spencer Fano. We need either O line or linebacker. Um, I think our biggest necessity is probably the safety DB spot. And I'm looking at who's left on the free agent tracker. NFL free agent tracker 2026. Let's pull this up. By the way, I want to know your guys' thoughts on Tua Tagovailoa signing with the Atlanta Falcons. I know best case scenario, a lot of Falcons fans wanted Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray was not willing to be a backup quarterback. Tua understands the process. He understands this is his really prove it year and his prove it deal after posting a 37 QBR with Miami last season. And he was not injured last season. He was just genuinely terrible. And he was put down to QB3 below, I believe it was Mike White or Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers. So I like the Steelers addition in Rico Dowdle. They had Jalen Warren. Who else did they have? Yeah, they had Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson proved to be absolutely dog water. He was not great behind that Steelers O line, even when they did put him in. Kenneth Gainwell lost KG to free agency. I'm a big fan of KG, Kenny G. And I think Rico Dowdle had a phenomenal year in Carolina. I mean, over 1,000 yards rushing. And you have Chuba Hubbard coming back off of injury. So, I mean, I don't think that Rico Dowdle was going to get the same push that he was going to have in Carolina like he did last season. And I think the Steelers, picked up a phenomenal running back in Rico Dowdle. If you give Rico Dowdle a solid O-line and give him the ball most of the time, he's going to put up a 1,000-yard season. He's going to put up at least 800 yards, 6 tutties, like 7 tutties. So, I mean, Dowdle is a guy who can handle over 220-plus carries a season. So, I like the Rico Dowdle signing. Yeah. But I feel like the biggest talk so far in NFL free agency has to be, through quarterback wise, I feel like it has to be Malik Willis. They signed him to a 3-year, $76 million deal. I like Malik Willis. Malik Willis put up phenomenal numbers in his stints, or 3 years, $67 million. My bad, 367. I think he put up phenomenal numbers in that Packers organization, behind a strong Packers O-line, in the wake of Jordan Love's injury. He flourished under Sean Mannion, but they're paying him about 20-something million a year, 22 million a year. So he's getting the same type of deal that Justin Fields got when he was shipped over to New York. I think the Dolphins have a better system. They're quite comparable when it comes to the Dolphins and the Jets and how they run their organizations and how they develop their quarterbacks. Malik Willis is a great QB. Don't get me wrong. He has Jalen Waddle, but who else do you have in that Dolphins depth chart? Darren Waller? Darren Waller, maybe. So, I don't know. I don't know. You also have, you can hand the ball off to Achane, who was a top 5 running back this past year. Because who did they have? They had Jalen Waddle. And then they had barely Tyreek Hill, which Tyreek Hill was just injury prone. So, and Tyreek Hill, locker room cancer. So, what are we talking about here? I mean, record paydays in recent days. Jalen Phillips, $30 million a year for Carolina Panthers. I love Jalen Phillips. He did wonders for the Eagles defense when they signed him midseason. But $30 million a year is kind of insane for a walking emergency room. Alec Pierce, $29 million a year, $114 million guaranteed for a guy who's maybe going to get 3 or 4 catches a game. And then, yes, he's probably going to have more money heading into he's probably going to have more money heading into or not more money, my bad. He's probably going to have more playing time heading into this next season with the departure of Michael Pittman Jr. You still have Josh Downs over there. You have Tyler Warren. So whoever's the quarterback is going to be for the Colts next season, they're giving you solid weapons. It matters how you utilize them. But that Colts O-line is absolutely atrocious. You have Quentin Nelson. That's it. You have Quentin Nelson. But Alec Pierce, for a guy who's going to get 3 or 4 catches a game, one to maybe go for 65 yards, because that's all it really was for Alec Pierce, is kind of insane. He's cold. He's a cold white boy, though. I like the cold white boys, Tyler Linderbaum, phenomenal signing for the Las Vegas Raiders. They needed to bolster that O-line. They have Jackson Powers-Johnson. They have Tyler Linderbaum now. Ashton Jeanty couldn't really do anything behind that terrible O-line. They had Geno Smith at quarterback, I believe, with the shift in getting Clint Kubiak over from the Seattle Seahawks. Is going to thrive in his first year with the Raiders. I think maybe an 8-win team, possibly 7-win team, but they really need to bolster that defense. They need to grab a wide receiver 1 out of the draft. Find a hidden gem like Chris Brazzell from Tennessee. I mean, I'm high on him, who can be a solid wide receiver 2 in the NFL. And then you have guys like K9. K9 going to the Chiefs. Where does that leave Isaiah Pacheco? Where does Jeremiah Love go? I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs had their meeting with Jeremiah Love. And sometimes they get an off vibe from a draft prospect. Not saying that's what happened here. But K9 is a really strong running back. He flourishes in the playoffs. He doesn't live up to like a top 5 running back in the regular season. But I mean, if he changes that around with a decent O-line in Kansas City, he's not going to have the best O-line like he did in Seattle. So I'm interested to see how this contract works out for K9 in Kansas City. And then the Giants. The Giants are looking very scary. You have Isaiah Likely, who, he didn't want to split ties with Mark Andrews in Baltimore, and now the Giants have a solidified tight end. So I like it. Let me go to X. Let me go back to X and see who is all available. Yeah, Isaiah Likely signs with the Chargers. Adam Schefter. Pull this up. Yeah, there's no. Somebody said earlier that Trey Hendrickson went to the Giants, and that's not true. Unless somebody else reported it. Trey Hendrickson. Unless somebody else reported that Trey Hendrickson went to the Giants, and I just didn't see it. Yeah, nobody has signed Trey Hendrickson yet. But drop your favorite NFL teams in the chat. And let's continue this conversation going. Yeah, I like Trey Hendrickson. 2025, 4 sacks, not the greatest. It's a little injured. I'm pulling up Trey Hendrickson's stat reference. But make sure to drop your NFL hot takes, MLB hot takes, WBC hot takes, NBA March Madness. I'll probably do something about March Madness on here soon. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson in 7 games, 4 sacks. 7 games started. 1 forced fumble. And 16 combined tackles in 7 games. So, yeah, Trey Hendrickson was off to a start. I want to propose. I'm gonna definitely propose a hot take in the Instagram story. But I like the Travis signing. Former Lions QB back with the Bills. I'm gonna have Mitchell Trubisky signed with the Titans. You know, if Cam Ward doesn't do well this season and it falls back to Mitchell Trubisky, can we see a resurgence of Mitchell Trubisky in Tennessee? I would love to see that for Mitchell. I was a big fan of Mitchell coming out of North Carolina. Do I think that he should have been drafted over Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes? No. Let me talk about the Raiders additions a little more today, though. I mean, you have Tyler Linderbaum to a 3-year, $81 million deal. You have Quay Walker to a 3-year, $40 million deal. You have Nakobe Dean to a 3-year, $36 million deal, which I still don't understand why the Philadelphia Eagles didn't re-sign Nakobe Dean. You bring in Jalen Naylor to a 3-year, $35 million deal. Kwity Paye, 3-year, $48 million. Eric Stokes to a 3-year, $30 million. And then you bring in Malcolm Kuntz to a 1-year, $11 million. And then you trade for DB Taron Johnson. So glad to see the Las Vegas Raiders making moves, man. Not just with their coaching staff, but with their free agents as well. I like it. I like it a lot. And, I mean, the Titans have Robert Saleh as their head coach. They have Brian Daboll as their offensive coordinator. The Titans had a top 7 rush defense in the entire NFL last season, but everybody overlooked that with how trash their offense was. But maybe with the hiring of Brian Daboll, we can get some free agents lured over to Tennessee. I don't know who the DC is in Tennessee right now. I'm about to look that up. Tennessee Titans defensive coordinator. I like Tennessee. Do I think they're going to contend for an AFC South title? No. They definitely need to bolster that They definitely need to bolster that offense. Denard Wilson, as the defensive coordinator, former Tennessee Titans defensive coordinator Denard Wilson's hired as the Giants DC. Yeah, Denard Wilson's really strong. Tennessee Titans hired Gus Bradley. Wow, yeah. He's been a DC for 12 total seasons with the Seahawks. Great signing for the Tennessee Titans and Gus Bradley. I completely forgot about Gus Bradley. I guess I must have skipped over that. I just keep refreshing Adam Schefter's page. I just keep refreshing Adam Schefter's page to see if anything would have happened. Yeah, but make sure to like, follow, subscribe. We're on the road to 4,000 subs, so make sure to hopefully get there soon. Some big things coming for JD Sports Zone. A lot of interviews in the works and in the books to come on the show. So I'm super excited for that. We have, again, Taylor Motter joining the show on Saturday. And make sure to go check out the recent collaborated post with Adam Jones, 5-time MLB All-Star, on my Instagram. We're trying to reach 600 over on Instagram. So make sure to go check those out as well. Sorry if you guys hear a lot of rain outside my apartment. It's raining outside here. And there's a lot of work to come for in the summer. A lot of big news, a lot of big things in the works for June and July for JD Sports Zone. So I can't say anything yet just because it is not solidified. But, there's a lot of things in the works for JD Sports Zone Summer Surge. So stay tuned for all of that. And who would y'all like to see in on the show? I've done a lot of interviews with MLB players, collegiate football players, collegiate basketball players, collegiate baseball players. I'm working to get an NBA guy, a former Hawks guard. So stay tuned for a potential announcement on that. Again, can't give off the name just because he hasn't given me a date yet, but he is interested in popping on. So stay tuned for one of those. Make sure to go follow Wolf Sports Network as well because I'm on my college sports radio show over there called Sports Out of Pocket that goes live every Wednesday from 6 to 7. We'll be talking about some NFL free agency on there. We're also going to be having West Georgia football player Elijah Kennedy on the show, so stay tuned for that as well. And go follow Wolf Sports Network on Instagram. We're almost to 500 on YouTube, I believe, at the moment. Also, what kind of content would you guys like to see here? Because, again, a lot of big things in the works for JD Sports Zone. Or for me personally as a brand that I've been working the kinks out too. Yeah. Just waiting on some more things to pop up. Devin Lloyd just signed with breaking news, Devin Lloyd just signed an agreement with the Carolina Panthers. Phenomenal signing for the Carolina Panthers, a former first-round draft pick by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So their defense right now, which they bolstered over the past couple seasons with, again, additions like Derek Brown, on depth charts. My bad. I just typed in depth charts. I didn't type in the actual team. Let me pull this up right now. Depth chart Panthers. Here we go. Let's see what they have in the 2026 Our Lads. Looking at this defense, you got Derek Brown. You in the linebacker position, you have Nick Scorton. You have Trevin Wallace. You have Christian Brosboom. You have Jalen Phillips, who they just added earlier today. You have an addition in Devin Lloyd, who just got over from the Jacksonville Jaguars. You have Mike Jackson in the DB position. Something that they really need to focus on. I like J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn is a really strong. J.C. Horn's a really strong DB guy for them. But something that they need to focus on in the draft is DB and probably some more O-line. Because right now they have Austin Corbett, who's a really strong O-lineman. But they Ike Mekongwu, they have Damian Lewis, Robert Hunt, Taylor Moton, who's been part of the team forever. You have Tommy Tremble, you have Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, Tet McMillan. That's all they really have. They have Tet McMillan. I like Xavier Legette as a person. I like Jalen Coker as a person. I don't think they're wide receiver 2 material or target material. And Tommy Tremble, when we think of tight ends, you think of Trey McBride, you think of Dallas Goedert, you think of Jake Ferguson even. You think of Jake Ferguson, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews. You don't think of Tommy Tremble. So I don't know if they're looking for maybe a different tight end position. But I don't know who else is out there for NFL tight ends. Or who you could really trade for. But yeah, the Carolina Panthers just signed Devin Lloyd. Strong thing. 3-year, $45 million for Devin Lloyd. According to Adam Schefter. Again, I'm just refreshing Adam Schefter's page. Manly. And the Titans have agreed to terms with Cordell Flott. Re-signing him. Charlie Kohler signing with the Los Angeles Chargers. John Franklin Myers signing a 3-year deal with the Titans. Who else do we got here? Let me refresh here. Yeah, the Eagles need to do something. I don't know who else is out there who we're gonna trade. We better put AJ Brown in a trade package, but I don't know what people are gonna want for AJ Brown. I really don't know. I don't know what people are gonna want for AJ Brown. So, but again, y'all, make sure to like and subscribe. On the road to on the road to 3K or 4K. Like we talked about Tua. Oh, the one guy we did not talk about. Mike Evans to the 49ers. I think it's game-changing for him. They don't have a healthy wide receiver core. Sorry about that, guys. Let me put that up. I'm also working on some homework right here while I'm live streaming as well. Mike Evans, I mean, he's a consistent 1,000-yard receiver. Everybody's saying, oh, he's injury prone. He had one or two injured seasons. I understand that he's getting on later in his career. He's like 33, 34 years old. He's still a consistent. How old is Mike Evans? He's like 33, right? Mike Evans, he signed a deal with the San Francisco 49ers. Mike Evans is 32 years old. Yeah, Mike Evans is 32 years old. Not young anymore. He's still a consistent 1,000-yard receiver, but is he going to get that with San Francisco with Brock Purdy? I think he will. I think the San Francisco 49ers are done with Brandon Ayuk, or if he does come back, I know how gruesome that injury was for Brandon Ayuk, so we don't know if he's going to be back by kickoff in 2026. You still have George Kittle as well, who's still a top 5 tight end when healthy. And we're always talking about when healthy. You have Ricky Pearsall, who missed a lot of games this past season. In replacement of him, they had Jawan Jennings and Kendrick Bourne. So, but overall, great signing for the 49ers. I think it's a very strong signing. When healthy, he's a 1,000-yard receiver, and Brock Purdy needs um, a strong wide receiver to throw to. I like the Mike Evans signing way more than the DJ Moore signing for the Bills. By the way, make sure to comment in the chat if you think DJ Moore is a top 15 wide receiver, because majority of people at Wolf Sports Network seem to think so. When I was naming, I can name 15 wide receivers better than DJ Moore at the full, I guess, potential. Or potential. You have Mike Evans, you have Ricky Pearsall, you still have Jawan Jennings, you have George Kittle, you have Sky Moore. Demarcus Robinson was also a valuable option. And people are acting like Mike Evans isn't like a big game-changing signing. When healthy, he's 1,000-yard receivers, and I know I say when healthy, but I mean that's sometimes there's reality and then there's, I guess fantasy. But you're looking at this defense. You have Mykel Williams. You have Bryce Huff, who's a really strong defensive end. You have D. Winters. You have Fred Warner coming back. You have Malik Mustafa. You have Diamador Lenore. And you have Nick Bosa coming back as well. So, I mean, you have a very strong defensive at the three different levels, or defensive strength at the three different levels. That O-line, you have Trent Williams, Spencer Buford, Jake Brendel, Dominic Puny, Colton McKivitz. Not the greatest O-line. I think they definitely need to go out and get an O-lineman, to save Brock Purdy from getting hurt, because Brock Purdy was out a couple games as well when you had Mac Jones step in, and Mac Jones was a valuable option. Why are we not talking about bringing Mac Jones into being a starting QB? He was a strong option like Malik Willis was. Not as strong as Malik Willis, but I think Mac Jones deserves to have another shot to start in the NFL. I think, he needs that. I'd take Mac. I'm trying to think of who I'd take Mac Jones over, who's a current starter. Well, yeah, I was going to say Geno Smith. I'd take Mac Jones over Geno Smith any day. I'd take Mac Jones over Justin Fields. I'd take Mac Jones over Justin Fields. I'd take Mac Jones over Shedeur Sanders. I'd take him over Shedeur. Who else? I wouldn't take him over Jackson Dart. I like Jackson Dart. I like Tyler Shuck. I think he did good with what Tyler had in New Orleans. I think he did really good with what he had in New Orleans. I'm trying to think of who else I would take him over. J.J. McCarthy. Oh, J.J. McCarthy by miles. Do you think the Vikings give up on J.J. McCarthy? I do think the Vikings give up on J.J. McCarthy. I think he was overrated. I think he's just a guy who throws the checkdowns. You had a phenomenal run game in Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum at Michigan. And when healthy, he's been able to do absolutely nothing. When you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, you saw how well Sam Darnold did in the Vikings organization. And then look what happened when J.J. McCarthy went there. Because the Vikings didn't want to re-sign Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl. If I heard 2026 is the new 2016, if you told me, or actually he didn't start his NFL debut until 2018. If you told me 5 years ago that Sam Darnold was going to win a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Baker Mayfield, I would have thought you were crazy. But shout out Sam Darnold. He did his thing. But yeah, I think Mac Jones deserves another shot at a starting position. I'd take him over Shedeur. I'd take him over J.J. McCarthy. And then I don't know if I'd take him over. I might take him over Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett had a very strong season for what he was able to put together with a lackluster offense in Arizona. Cardinals head coach, Arizona. Who? Michael Floor, yeah. Michael Floor. And I think the addition of Michael Floor is signing a 5-year deal with Mike. Yeah, I think that's going to be a strong offense. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not very high in the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, you bring in Tyler Algier. You still have James Conner, who at best is a top 10, maybe 10, 11 quarterback when healthy. But James Conner's never healthy. And I've had him on my fantasy team for like the past couple seasons. So, yeah. I don't know. He's an interesting guy for sure. James Conner's a phenomenal guy. Great guy, always does things for the cancer organizations. He just can't stay healthy. And I can't really blame him because that Cardinals O-line is absolutely atrocious. So if you get him out of Arizona, I think he can maybe flourish somewhere else. But James Conner's also getting old. He's like in his 30s. James Conner. Yeah, James Conner. How old is James Conner? James Conner back with the Cardinals on a reworked deal. I don't know. Yeah, James Conner is 30. He turns 31 this year. I'm still finishing this quiz. Pull up Corsten. But I appreciate everybody who joined the live tonight. I know there were a lot of people earlier in here, so I truly appreciate that. Again, comment what kind of content you would like to see on this YouTube channel. I don't have a lot of free time just because I am a college student. This is my final semester here at my college. I graduate in May, and I'm busy Monday through Thursdays, really. Some Fridays, and the weekends really the time I have to myself that I can really push out and build this brand. And I appreciate all the support I've had over the past year, and all the guests I've been able to have on for JD Sports Zone. If you guys did not see over winter break in December and early January, I had a lot of Banana Ball guys on. I think about 18 or 19 Banana Ball guys. So shout out to all the Banana Ball guys for taking time out of their day to do that. Okay. Where would y'all like to see Kyler Murray go? Where would you like to see Russell Wilson go? Maybe I would like to see Russell Wilson maybe go to the Colts if that's an option for them. Because we talked about, Bengals quarterback situation back when the Bengals were on a very continuous losing streak after losing Joe Burrow to another injury. I think Joe Burrow's a top 5 quarterback when healthy. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to see a healthy Joe Burrow in the past 2-3 years. So I think he's gonna win more comeback player of the year. Joe Burrow, when healthy, would be in the conversation with Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. But unfortunately, he's never healthy. It's just like Matthew Stafford and Drake. I think he's better than Drake May when healthy. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, unfortunately, he's never healthy. I love Joe Burrow, and unfortunately, we don't really get to see him healthy. Individual one's income. Multi. Sorry, I'm finishing up my quizzes and papers and everything while I'm on the live. Women working basketball falls. So, but again, thank y'all for and everybody for joining the live. This will probably just be out. Basketball fall so tennis. Okay, perfect. But again, um I appreciate everybody. I hope y'all have an amazing day. And again, comment any sort of content you guys would like to see. Because I'm open to all suggestions when it comes to content. Let me repost. Become perfect. But again, stay tuned for the interview with Taylor Motter on Saturday. Stay tuned for more NFL free agency reactions on Instagram. And again, if you guys have not followed the Instagram, make sure to go follow it. JD Sports Zone, almost a 600 followers over there. Tune in Wednesday to Sports Out of Pocket on Wolf Sports Network. You don't want to miss that either. Um, yeah, we're gonna have it's gonna be fun. We get to talk NFL free agency. I'm gonna be wearing my Eagles jersey, so stay tuned for all of that. That's not what I wanted to check. Um, yeah, but stay tuned for all of that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But all right, guys, I appreciate y'all for joining the live. I think I'm probably going to end it here, and I hope to see y'all during the next live. Stay tuned for updates on my community posts and Instagram. And make sure to go follow my TikTok as well. I post a lot of my interview clips on TikTok and completely forgot to mention that. So make sure to go check out all of those out as well. And I guess I will see y'all next time. I appreciate y'all.